son. I play a big brother role. Influenced by my parents, because they always instilled in me, if anything happened, what did you do to prevent that happening? Because you're the oldest son. I did end up playing some kind of leadership role, perhaps because I pushed boundaries. When I got expelled from university, I was expelled in June 1969. In July in 1972, the South African Students' Organization was being launched, and I was the key organizer with Steve Biko, bringing the university to a standstill. I was arrested in January 73, and then in February, I was served with a banning order. Frelimo would officially take over in Mozambique. So we organized Viva Frelimo rallies, and the government tried to ban those. And there was a standoff with government, and rallies were held, interaction with the military, and so that resulted in my imprisonment, arrested on the 25th of September, and the trial lasting 2 years. I was the first of 9 accused. I served a sentence on Robben Island and only got released in December 1982. I met Nelson Mandela when I went to Robben Island, and then spent at least 5 years in the same cell block with him. I learned the value of patience, that certain things can be done if you are patient about it, rather than want to change now or yesterday, that things will happen if you plan and execute them properly.
The Nelson Mandela Foundation said today that F.W. de Klerk's legacy was an uneven one.
History will record him as an important figure, but whether he was villain or hero will emerge after his death. It is an extremely rare condition, although if you follow some of the practitioners in our capital city, you'll feel as if Afrikaners as a group have a higher percentage of dissociative identity disorder than is usual. We live in really terrifying and terrible times. Now we're confronting a common problem, unlike in any other time in our history. Nobody is unaffected by it. A child is often a child that acts out in different ways, can be a loner sometimes, can be quite gregarious, but also you can get a child who's very isolated, and that child may have other socialization problems.
How would you describe our current state of mind as South Africans with everything that is going on?
There is giving vent to pent-up frustrations and being excluded in South Africa when we brayed about our democracy.
You, like a few other people, were very, very close to Steve Biko.
If Steve Biko was around, we wouldn't be in this situation.
What would his position be in the current state that we're in?
There was an expectation that the oppressed people would shape the liberation narrative.
Thanks indeed for joining us on this, the 8th anniversary, marking, of course, the passing of Madiba. How should we be remembering him?
I think we should be remembering him quite significantly because he is arguably the most iconic figure this country has produced and one of the iconic figures on the continent.
It is deeply saddened by the passing of one of its founding members, attorney Priscilla Jana.
There's been a great degree of sadness, but also fond memory. I think the lawyer that has represented the most political prisoners.
He was a an early proponent of black theology, which put black people at the center of their universe. I am very clear that were it not for the sacrifices of the young people who did what they did in Soweto and other places throughout the country, there would not have been a change towards democracy. When the horrific events of 7th of October happened, we called on all sides to cease and desist. The narrative that's being played out, unfortunately, is that South Africa is against Jewish people.
He is the president of the Pan-African Psychology Union, talking to us about taking care of our mental wellness.
We recognize mental health as an issue that is part of our lives that we have to engage with. One would need to actually engage with yourself, one, and engage with others around you.
The 70s group have decided to come together to give off their skills and experience to contribute to this country's development. We're bringing together activists who, from the late 60s into the 70s, created the momentum for struggle in this country, and we feel we've got a contribution to make to rebuilding this nation that's struggling to be born. It's significant that we're talking about youth, but all over, youth are disenfranchised. We don't seem to be hearing and taking care of their needs. We seem to be more engrossed in our issues than cater for the future, our youth.
We should never ever forget that European colonialism created the problems in Africa, and the specter of what hit the world in the late 1930s is again with us, but it seems that because Africans are caught in the crossfire, they are lesser beings. It's time we actually woke up and said, this far and no further. We will not allow you to treat our children, our people, in this manner.
The definition of black is one that negates any negative, pejorative, diminutive connotations of a person or groups of people. So if you take the term non-white, if you remove white from it, you're left with a non. And I don't think the majority of the people on this globe are nons, non-entities, negatives of anybody else. And nobody should be looked at as an appendage of anything else. In many ways, psychology's last frontier is in Africa, because it's developed in certain places and almost non-existent in large tracts of Africa. We have embarked on creating a Pan-African Psychology Union. The idea is to play a helping professional role, to up the ante for psychology, to make sure that the flag of psychology flies high. The pride that psychology deserves is given to it.
Stay in touch with those people that mean something to us. Look for the support systems within your family, group of friends. If we don't do that, we'll suffer alone, and we need to care for those around us, be with those that we care about, and those that care about look out for us.